Happy Monday, everybody. Let's try this again. I was on mute, so I'm sure y'all couldn't hear me. Hope y'all having a wonderful Monday. Happy afternoon or morning, whatever time it is for you guys. Thanks for hopping on. Hello, Miss Marilyn. Hello, Picture Me Crafting. Hey, Miss Linda. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Renee. Hey, Jesse. Hey, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. Hey, Roslyn. It's really, really cold here. I don't know where you live if it's cold, but I think it was low 39. Hi, Kristen. Welcome in, everybody. So I know some people has been wanting to do this, and I didn't get to do it last Monday because I had to work. So I posted it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and for some reason I couldn't get the link to for y'all just to click it and it pops up. YouTube is doing this crazy thing like where it wants you to show your ID and all this stuff, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. So hopefully, if you are sewing along with me, you found it. And if not, I apologize again, and I'll see if I can try to post it again where all y'all have to do is click on the link. Hey, Robin's Creations. Hey, Patricia. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Miss Gail. Hope everyone is doing well. And y'all, if y'all hear a ding, I apologize. I have a MacBook, and so I can get text on it. So, and if I turn the volume all the way down so y'all can't hear it, then you won't hear me. So I apologize. So I did a couple things so it would make my life easier on this live. But here is the pattern. I wanted to show y'all the pattern just in case if you was interested. So this is the pattern. I subscribe to this Heather is it Handmade? Yeah. I was watching a like a crafting, event or something that some of these ladies do, and I subscribe to her, and she's got some really, really cute patterns. Some of them are free. I had to pay for this one. I think it was like $4.99, $5.99. But anyway, it's really cute. I've done 2 so far, so this will be my 3rd one. I did one yesterday. It didn't turn out the best, but hey, it's okay. This one's going to be even better. So here's my first one that I did. Like, it's not perfect, but it looks better than my one that I did yesterday. And that's the back of it. And then, hey, Jess. Hey, everybody coming in. And then you just got a place where you can put your cards. Right here's a pocket, here's a pocket, and here's a pocket. Okay. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to be making today. And she gives you all the instructions, everything that you need to do. And then this is the pattern. If you decide to purchase it, she'll give you the pattern. So yeah. Thanks, Miss Linda. Hopefully this one comes out pretty good. So, and y'all, this piece of hair is getting on my nerves. So if you see me put it behind my ear 500,000 times, I'm sorry, okay? So the first thing is, here's the little pattern. So you've got your loop piece of fabric. You need one this size, and then you'll need some interfacing to go down in the middle of it. Okay, and you want your interfacing just to be between these dots. Okay, then you have your tab, and then you want piece of interfacing, and then you will cut. It says middle pocket interfacing, so you'll cut two interfacings this size. Good morning, D. Good afternoon. DB, or good afternoon. And then you will cut two pieces of fabric for the middle pocket. So you only need it from the dotted line up. That's how I did. So you need two of these. Then your main fabric, which will be the front that you'll sew your pockets onto, and the back, you'll need two of those, and it's the whole pattern. And see, I had to tape it. And then you also will need one interfacing this size. And then you'll need the lowest pocket. You'll need one of these from the dot up. That's how I did mine. So that's the pattern. And I don't have any of the like the strong interfacing, but she says in her directions, I just used what I had here. Let me find it. Okay, it says, let me get all my papers here together straight. You know, you think you've got everything ready for the live, and then guess what? You don't. Okay. So it says you can use a fat quarter. Then you'll need 1/4 yard of medium weight fusible interfacing. You need one lobster clasp, and I just used this because that's all I had. You need a plastic snap and the pliers. So I'm just using these that I got off of Amazon. Sewing tools, and you need a sewing machine. Okay, so that's just about it. And it says all seams allowance is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I went ahead and pre-cut my stuff out, and I went ahead and put the interfacing on, so that would like cut down some time. So I am using two different fabrics. You can use all the same fabric, or if you want to, you can use two different ones. It's totally up to you. The two that I made so far, I did two. Here's the other one that I made yesterday. This is not the best one, but here it is. It's got little polka dots, and then I used like a little red truck fabric. So yeah. Okay, So I'm using the Grinch fabric. And I've got my little tab with the little Grinch on it. And then I've got my stuff. And I just put it together so I could make sure it's going to look decent. Okay. So as you can see, I've got my two main pieces. This is going on the back, the Grinch. And then this is going on the front side with my pockets. I'm just using the Christmas with the little polka dots. I got it from Hobby Lobby. And then my middle pocket is also out of the polka dots. And then the top and bottom one is the Grinch. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pockets and I'm going to sew a little stitch line across the top on each of them, okay? And then, as you can see, I've got some infusible hanging off, and I'll trim that. It really don't matter about these other ones because you're not really going to see them because they're going to be like this sewed. So the only one that really matters is the bottom one, okay? But I'm going to sew a seam across it, and then we'll do our next step. There's my interface. It's on, and like I said, it's not medium weight, but it's all that I had because I didn't want to spend more money. I was like, I'll just use what I have. First, let me get my scissors so I can trim that off before I forget. And then we'll start sewing. Okay. All right. Now let me turn y'all to my sewing machine so y'all can see. And I'm just going to line it up and I'm going to make a little, like I said, a little stitch across the top. So that's all you're going to do right there. I know you might not be able to see it because it's red, but it's just a little stitch. So I'm going to do the next one the same way. And you just make a straight line. I don't know why I'm nervous to do this project, but I am for some reason. I guess because I'm afraid I don't want to mess up on live, but you know, sometimes you can't control that. So it'll be what it'll be. Hopefully you can see that one better. But I just sewed a straight stitch. So now for our last one. And then we'll be ready to, anyone making this with me? If not, anybody going to do it later on? I hope so. Because I would love to see it if you do. That's okay, Jessie. All right, Miss Linda, you're going to do it later? Okay. Because I would love to see y'all's. Okay, so now I'm going to take my main piece for the front right here, and then I'm going to start laying my pieces. So can y'all see this? So I'm just going to lay it to make sure this is going to be right. And you want your bottom pocket to line up with the edge of your bottom fabric. So it'll kind of look like this. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is taking this off. And I've got this laying where I want to, okay? So I'm going to stitch a line down across the bottom of each pocket. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Are you folding the top edge down any or just sewing it? No, I'm just sewing it. You probably could fold it down, but I didn't. So I'm just going to my little machine and I'm going to make a little stitch again right across the bottom. Make sure it's straight, my fabric's straight. And then I always back tack it on both sides and cut my strings. So now you've got one little pocket, okay? Don't worry about these sides. We'll fix them in just a little bit, okay? So now I'm going to take my second pocket and I'm going to place it about like that. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to sew it down here. I'm going to trim this where you can see my interfacing. And like I said, you won't really see it on the edge. I mean, you can go ahead and cut your interfacing if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, so now let's put it like this. And now I'm going to sew. I'm going to line this up just to make sure. Yep. Now I'm going to sew the bottom part right here. Okay. Let me fix my thread because I don't want it getting all tangled up when I'm sewing it. And then I'm on down here and we're just going to sew another little stitch. And I always back tack it just to make sure. It don't come apart. Because I'd hate to be using it and then it just come apart. Okay, so clip my strings. So now we're going to do the bottom piece. And like I said, we're going to lay it, I'm going to lay it right at the bottom of it. Okay? And then I'm going to sew across the bottom. Okay? I'll make sure it's straight. Because I felt like the other one wasn't too straight. but we'll see. Okay, so now we're going to sew a little stitch. Across the bottom of it, just like we've done our other two. Cut our strings. So once you've done that part, it should look like this. Okay, it should look like this. So now I am going, and I'm going to press this, my little tab. Let me plug up my iron. I thought I had it plugged up. And yes, I did iron everything. I pressed it. Okay. So I don't have people hating me. Thinking out loud, but trimming the top of the pocket with baking shears would be a fun extra look. Yes, you are right, Kristen. I just don't have any. But yes, that would look very cute. And so all I'm going to do for my tab, let me push this out of the way so y'all can see. So I'm just going to like fold it in half, and I'm going to press it. And then I'm going to, and see, you're supposed to put interfacing, but I'm cheating. I'm not using any. Okay. And then I'm going to fold it like that. So they both meet in the center. And I'm going to press it. Then I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to fold it over so it looks like that. Or you could just, like if you want to make it smaller, fold it over, which I think I'm going to do, fold it over, and then make it like that for my little hoop. Okay. So now that we got, and you can press it down if you would like. Okay, so now that we got that, we can get the iron out of the way and get my wool mat out of the way. So then, and here's my little tab that we're going to connect it last. I'm going to use last. So now I'm going to take the back side of my fabric and I'm going to place it face to face, okay? And then I'm going to sew around it, leave an opening down here at the bottom so I can turn it. Okay, and also I'm going to insert my tab over here on the side. Okay, I'll show you once we get there. And when you do your tab, you want, of course, you want your clasp. And then just do it like that. And then once you get there, I'm just going to stick it like right up here. On the edge of the Grinch, but it'll be turned this way. Everybody see that? I know my finger's in the way. So that's what we'll do. But like I said, I'll show you once we get there. So I'm just going to lay this on top, and I'm going to start stitching around it. Am I going too fast? I hope not. Or use double folded bias. And yes, you could also use that, Kristen. Yes. And then, like I said, you'll see some of this is like extra, but we can trim it off. No worries. Okay. So I'm going to start right here at the top. And we're just going to sew around the edge of it. Flip my needle, or turn my needle. And we're just going to go down the side. Okay, and then I'm going to sew a little bit, and then I'm going to leave a hole. I'm going to back tack. And then I'm going to start over here and finish sewing. Make sure I'm okay. We're just going to sew. I'm going to back tack. And then we'll stop at the corner. I know you can't see it. I'm going to rotate my fabric, and then I'm going to put my needle back down, and I'm going to sew up this side. Now, once I get here, remember, I've got to put my little tab in. So this is where I'm going to take my little tab, and I'm going to carefully place it along the top of my first pocket. And I'm going to trim some of these little flyaways off. I know you won't see it, but I don't like it. Okay, thank you, Stacy. No worries. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to make sure it's near the edge so it gets attached in my sewing seam, because you don't want it, you want it to catch. Okay, so I got that. So I'm going to put my foot back down, and we're going to sew over it. I can get my petal don't quit disappearing from me. And then I'm going to turn it, and then we're going to finish sewing at the top. Back tack it. So once you have sewed it, it should look like this with your little opening. And now I'm going to trim this excess off. And I'm going to trim a little bit off this side. And then I'm going to clip my corners. First, I'm going to put my little string. I'm going to clip my corners. Just a little bit. All the way around. Now I'm going to take this, find it at the bottom, and I'm going to flip it inside out. And I will need my iron again. So let me turn it back on a little bit. But I'm going to press this once I get it turned, because I will have to sew it along the bottom to shut it. And these can be aggravating. The little things, they take extra longer to flip. And then make sure you poke out your corners. So I'm going to find my little poker that I have, and I'm going to gently poke these so I don't make a hole in it. Got it at Walmart. But make sure your corners are nice poked out. Sometimes I have to do it with my finger and then use my little pokey tool. So once you get that, got some strings that you can cut, but that's what we got so far. Okay, we've got our little pockets, 3 little pockets. So now I'm going to iron this, and I'm going to do a top stitch around it. Okay, then this is where we're going to add the top of it. Okay, thank you. Hey Nikki, welcome in. And hello to everybody else that I have missed. Thank you so much. So I'm just folding it down here, and then I'm going to iron it, okay? So let me bring my little, I got a mess. Just overlook it, please. You know, when you're sewing, you're always going to make a mess, right? Well, I do anyway. Seems to get all over my pants, everything. And you can also use it's some kind of tape or something that you can iron it shut. If somebody can think of them, I have some, but I just don't know what it's called right offhand. So I'm going just pressing it all over. So now we're ready to like make a top stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to start here, or probably start on this side and just go all the way around. Make sure I catch my hole at the bottom, and then once I get up here to the top, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Hem tape, yes, thank you. Okay, so start right here. Just going to make us a little edge. And I always back tack. And I'm going to turn it, make sure my fabric is still turned under. Coming up the side. Sometimes it don't like to go over these big old lumps, so I have to hand turn it a little bit until it gets over the edge. Make sure your clasp is not in the way too. You don't want to break your needle. Okay, so now we're coming to the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place this, my little tab that we're going to put our little snap on, in the center of our keychain wallet. Turn it so I'm just going to eyeball it. I should measure it, but I'm not going to. And so what I'm going to do is when I top stitch this, I'm just going to top stitch this little tab right over it, okay? Does that make sense? I hope. So I'm going to turn my needle and I'm just going to finish top stitching, but I've got my tab piece and I'm holding it. Okay. Iron cords getting on my nerves, so I'm just top stitching it. And then I'm just going to go keep it going. And I'm going to come back to the side where I started. Back tack it. So this is what I got so far. I think this one's kind of cute. This one's probably the best one I've done so far. So now I could have put it in the center a little bit more because it's like not in the center, but it's okay. So now I'm going to take my little snaps and make my holes, and then we'll be done. So I'm going to use white since there's enough red. So I'm going to need 2 of these that's got the little sharp edges. And then you need 1 that's going to snap, your little snapper. Looks like this. And then you need 1 that's kind of flat, that looks like this. So once you've got those 4, and like I said, I got this on Amazon. Everything come with it. The little pliers and everything. So let me move this out of the way because I don't need it right now. And then I've got my little tool so you can make a hole in it. So you want to line it up to see where your snap's going to be. So mine comes down below the 3rd pocket. So that's where I'm going to do mine once I trim this little string. So I want my snap to go like right here. So I'm going to put my little tool down. And I'm going to make a little hole through it. Be careful. Don't stab yourself because these are sharp. And then I'm going to take 1 of my little clasps. And I'm going to stick it through the front so it pops all the way through. It's a little thick because of the fabric, but it will go, I promise. So like that. And then I'm going to take the snap part and I'm going to place it like that. And I'm going to take my little tool, and this black part is going to go on the front part of my snap around it. And then you just give it a press. So it should look like this. Okay, so then you line it up. Now we got to make our bottom one. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to put a hole in the bottom pocket. And then we will stick it through there. And then I'm going to stick this one in the back of the fabric. And then I'm going to take this side and put it on top. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Take my black part, stick it behind this. Make sure it's all covered. And give it a squeeze. So now it should be like that. So now you can snap it. Snap it. And let me get some cards so y'all can see what it actually looks like. Okay, these are just some business cards that I have, and I'm just going to stick it in there. Actually, I'm going to stick a gift card. I got a gift card from last Christmas to TJ's Maxx that I've not used because I can't remember to take it with me. So I'm just sticking my little cards in here, little business cards. This one's a little deep, but so if you're going, somewhere like real quick, you can, and all you don't want to take everything, you can just take this with you. And there you go. We've made our keychain card wallet. And these would make great Christmas gifts also. Very easy to do. That was my third one that I made. So if I can do it, I know y'all can do it. Because some of y'all are 10 times better sewer than what I am. Does anybody have any questions for me? Or did I explain it pretty good for everybody? I hope so. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Yes, it is. It makes a cute Christmas gift. I think I might make my daughter one for Christmas, because come at the end of December or January, she'll be getting her license, and Lord have mercy. Sometimes if her head wasn't attached, she would forget it. So, but yes. So like again, this was our little project that we made today. And I could have made it more centered, but since I already made the holes, I didn't I'm not going to, because then it would throw everything off. So, but if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm up to 87 subscribers. Yay, I'm so excited. And also, if you have to come back and watch the replay, make sure you like it also. But if no one else has any questions, I will let y'all go. And once again, thank you so much for coming and spending your morning or afternoon with me to make this little project. And next Monday, we're going to be making a stocking. So I've already got the thumbnail up for that. If you want to make a stocking with me, I will be happy for you to do that. You will just need to go and find a free stocking pattern. There's a couple out there. So yeah. But I would be excited if some people was sewing along with me next Monday. Alrighty, well, hope y'all have a wonderful week, and we will see you in the YouTube streets. Bye.